Hey, BassGeek here, and man, did I find some goodies when I was in Richmond, Virginia at the Fishing Expo. That's right, geeks, let me tell you, I love to go to these fishing expos and buy some goodies. You can find great prices on well-known products, and you can find a lot of custom gear, and that's what we really targeted at the Richmond Fishing Expo. A lot of good stuff. And we made a little pit stop as we were leaving Richmond because a lot of the folks at Richmond was telling us about a little place called Green Top. Pretty interesting little store, and just so happens they were having their little spring expo there too. I shouldn't say little. We'll talk about that near the end. Oh, and we got a little giveaway for you. So hang in there. We got something we're going to give away by one of the companies that we interviewed in the Richmond video. Now, anyway, let's talk about what we picked up. So one of the very first things I want to talk about is custom crankbait colors. These are two really great colors, so I picked up two of them. This is by TSA Lures. Now, we will put links in the description to everything in this video. So, these little pups we picked up. Like I said, I picked up two of them. They're custom painted, well, Little Johns. And I love that dark red, and I love that bright belly. That's something that I like to do when it comes to fishing bluff walls in the winter into spring. Because a lot of times you can work this down the bluff wall, and as it pops free, the bass will see that bright belly if they're deeper, and they'll come up and knock the piss out of this. So great looking color right here. I don't know if you're going to see all the details on the camera, but I'll give you a little preview of it. So again, a great little color. We picked up two of those. You can see that belly. Love that dark color. Next up, from 911 Lures, we picked up some great looking hand-tied spinnerbaits. And what drew me to these spinnerbaits was blade color. You know, these guys know what they're doing and what they're talking about when they have some of the same colors in multiple blade colors. Now, everybody's go-to, at least around me, is probably going to be that nickel or silver blade, double willow leaf. But what I like about this head is it's got that nice little purple. It's got that white with a little bit of purple in it. So it's a great color again for like smallmouth, spotted bass. Just a great looking color. And of course everything I picked up was ½ ounce. Now here's what really excited me about these. Same exact color of spinnerbait. And I like these because they're a nice compact spinnerbait too. But all of a sudden, you've got some white blades. Let me tell you this, when they're feeding on shad in the spring and the shad are moved up shallow, there ain't nothing that beats a white blade on a heavily cloudy or rainy day. Pick up in muddy water. Pick up a white blade, you're going to get a lot more bites than you will off of those silver or those gold blades. Now they had a good deal running, so I picked up several. And this is one I just want to try out, especially around those smallmouth, because this reminds me of my sour grape color in a lot of my minnow baits that we use on the Sabiki rig that works so well. Again, another great compact spinnerbait. This time it's a little bit different. I don't even know. Yeah, they call this blue shad. Great color right there. White blades. This right here I know is going to get smashed. So much so I picked up two of them. And then of course, I like this tandem. It's got a gold kicker and that nickel. So if I wanted to, I could change this out, go to all gold on a cloudy day. And let me tell you, if you want to learn more about spinnerbaits, I'll leave a link to a video about blade selection based on the conditions. It is extremely important. Now next up at the show was something that I've just been wanting to try. Now, I know this is sort of a knockoff, and I hate that word, of a Japanese bait, but I also know this one's easier to find and a little bit less expensive, and especially at a show. And if I throw glides, I generally, unless I'm fishing for smallmouth, or unless I'm fishing for spotted bass, I'm generally going to throw those 9-inch baits. And so I picked this up, had a heck of a deal on it. I apologize to where I got it from because I don't remember their name. They kind of were just an outfitter. They had a whole bunch, or a tackle shop, had a whole bunch of good stuff there at some great prices. But this is the Nessie 9, and this is, I don't know what size it is. You geeks out there will probably know, or what color it is. You geeks will probably know, but it's a good natural color, so I went ahead and picked one up. And, want to give it a try. A good soft glide. I think this will work really good around some docks and marinas, that sort of thing. Maybe over some shallow brush or some shallow flats. I don't know a whole lot about it. Like I said, I know that there's a Japanese version of it. Don't know how good this is or how well it works, but we're going to give it a shot. And we'll let you know what we think about it. So, the other thing that we picked up was a couple of reels from a company that I had picked a couple of reels up from, or a reel up from to test, and so far I've liked it a lot. These were kind of their two best, and I don't think either one of them were over $60. And these are from Anchor. So these are Anchor reels. Let me show you this one. This is the JH series. Oh, got a free little pack of lures in here too. I didn't notice they stuffed that in there. A little pack of fishing lures. Looks like some grubs. Awesome. Good color too. Now what's great about this is it comes with a shallower spool, which I like a lot because I use fluorocarbon, and I just fill that whole spool up with fluoro. That's pretty cool. I'm going to test that. Good looking reel. I like the gold. Good looking, really good looking reel. Feels super smooth. Got my anti-reverse on it. I think I paid $50 for this. So yeah, I mean, great looking reel. I think it's probably not an aluminum body, so we'll see how durable it is. But overall, as far as looks, and just kind of in hand initial feel, pretty good looking little reel. I think we'll definitely put the shallower spool on. Alright, let's check out the other one. Now this one's a bait caster, and we got a little frog with that one. So kind of like, for all you geeks out there that's older, kind of like Cracker Jacks, man. You get a free gift. That's pretty cool. Little frog. Again, good looking reel. Kind of this green gold highlights. Good looking reel. Takumi S. This is the Takumi S right-handed reel. Zeus prevents line twist, 6-3-1. Probably one of my favorite swim bait speeds right here. So we may throw this on. It's got a little shallower spool, so we may throw this. And I like the shallow spool. Listen, I don't understand from a bass standpoint why we're throwing reels where we have to put a lot of line. I mean, it's not like they're making runs like striper and any sort of big fish. So I can literally just spool it straight with my main line. Probably put some 15-pound fluorocarbon from K9 on there. By the way, 10% off discount there. And roll with this. So I don't know what kind of braking system it's got. I see the magnetic outside, so it is just magnetic. Again, not sure. Definitely not an aluminum body. But hey, $60 for this. It's definitely, I think, worth a try. So we'll give it a try. Good looking reel for that price. Amazes me how far reels have came over the years. Now, here's something I'm pretty excited about trying. These are called lens no knot hooks. He demonstrated how to do this. I'm not going to demonstrate it right now. We'll talk about this a little bit later. I did pick up several kinds. It was a little limited in the types that he had. So he had some basic like straight hook, and you can kind of see on the back a little bit how it worked. We'll show that some other time, but he had the EWGs, which I thought was at least a good test of these hooks. So we got some in a 1/0. Like I said, this is the easy tie now. This is the, number ones. Some real small hooks there. Don't know what I'll use them for. Here's some 2/0 in the EWGs. And then here's some, of course, my favorite size in an EWG is 3/0. Now, the way they wrapped around, he did a test, and I mean, you could pull as hard as you wanted. It wasn't coming out. The way the hook is made, and the way you wrap it around, it's as strong as any knot I've ever used. At least just tested by hand. We'll give them a shot, see what they're like. If it's simpler and faster than tying a knot and just as good, that's one less point of failure, in my opinion, that you've got when you go fishing. Now, this is the company I want to talk to you about. This is something that I found probably my first time at the Raleigh show. I had one of you geeks actually come up and show me these. And so if you see this, shout yourself out. I appreciate you. But these are from Deep Creek Lures, who make a lot of good baits. These are the baby bass, and these are boot tails. This kind of what I like about these is when I say boot tails, these are great slowly reeled. Look at that. That is literally a boot tail. But they're great just slowly reeled. Great in the winter time. Just a great bait. You don't want to fish them too fast. A nice big soft plastic from Deep Creek. Now, I am going to say they did give us 3 packs of soft plastic. These are like variety packs to do a little giveaway. So we appreciate you, Deep Creek. So what we're going to do is, because it looks like there's worms and grubs and looks like a leech in there. So stick around to the end and I'll tell you how you can win these 3 packs of baits donated by Deep Creek Lures. That's awesome. We appreciate you guys. Now, I'm going to show you something a little different. Check this out. So we went by a little store as we were on our way home that a lot of you geeks in Richmond told us we needed to stop by. And apparently, if you got this bucket, everything you could fit in it was 20% off. I didn't go crazy, but I probably spent more than I should have. So this place is called Green Top. I've never been there, never heard of it until I got to Richmond. And so we're going to go through just what this is. As you can tell, I'm out of spin a dime. So of course we picked up the bucket, and just to be honest with you, there's always a need for a good bucket, right? So we'll be putting this to use. Calcutta. I don't know what Calcutta is. Y'all can answer that in the comments. I know, I'm dumb. But anyway, probably dumb bass angler. And speaking of which, I got something a little different I want to try too. It's something that I've been wanting to try. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so what did I pick up? Let's get kind of the terminal tackle out of the way first. So I did need to pick up some of these. These are the Gamakatsu. They're called super lines. They're belly weighted, you know, just some different sizes, 2/0, 3/0, and an 1/8, I think. Yeah, pretty much all of them in an 1/8. 5/0. Now these, I like them better than I like the screw-in belly weighted hooks when it comes to weighting a soft jerk bait. I like these a little bit better because you've got a little more control on how your bait works, up, down, side to side, getting it a little straighter than that free little spring that you screw them up on. So I would prefer to have this. It does tear the baits up a little bit more, but a dab of glue keeps them up on there, unless you're able to put them on before you tie the hook itself on. So picked up a few of those. Now, something else that I was needing was some very small, let me make sure, some very small, you know, quick clips. And so I got some of these. These are duo lock snaps. These might be a little too small. They're from Lord Jensen, but we'll give it a try. I don't know what kind of weight these are, but I'll look it up and find out. Again, Lord Jensen. But again, anyway, I'll look up and see what the weight is on these, because I don't want to catch a fish and pull them free. But I like a little smaller one, so I just went ahead and grabbed me a little packet of them. And then they had some of the, now these are a lot heavier, 25 pound. These are the quick clips, which I want to give a little bit of a try out of. So just take the split ring off completely and put this on. I think that's a pretty cool little deal there. So next up, you know, I've not done a whole lot with the hover rig, because a lot of them just can't seem to find the right size, the right weight for the waters that I fish. But I stopped in and I found some that were pretty interesting, like this one. This is a 1/4 ounce and it's on a 7/0 hook. So might be able to run some of those bigger swim baits up shallower over some of those bass's head and get a nice big bite, or even some other baits that we'll talk about at a later time. Here's one. This is a 1/4 ounce in 2/0, which is a good size for even the smaller baits that I run. And here's a 3/0 in 1/8, which is probably one of my go-to weights. Now this one is pretty interesting. This is a 3/4 in a 7/0 hook. So really interesting. A lot of weight on the shank of that hook. But some things that, you know, I mean, we could use to hide that makes my brain go to work. So pretty interesting little setup right there. Now this one, I think you geeks are going to find really interesting. I think I'm going to set me a rod up just for these. And they're known, and one of the reasons why is because I've found certain schools of bait that I think I know, and they're awful deep. So a cast net, I don't know how well it would work. But what I want to do is figure out what these bait fish are. A couple of my local reservoirs, and they're doing certain things, and Live Scope is allowing me to see that. But I'm trying to figure out, are they, you know, gizzard shad because they're bigger dots than say some of the smaller dots, or are they just bigger thread fin or whatever? But they act a little bit differently. So this is going to be something that I can't wait to try. And they're generally called a Sabiki rig, and I've actually picked up a few different sizes, and never used them before. So this is going to be interesting for me. So any tips from you geeks out there on using a Sabiki rig, let me know down in the comments section below. But these are all Eagle Claw, laser sharp. And there are a couple of different sizes of hooks, but apparently these are real good to catch, like, you know, shad and different species of bait fish on, maybe even some bluegill. Really small hooks here, and I think maybe even smaller hooks on these. And I got some of the smallest hooks that I could get simply because I'm sure I'm going to screw this up and make a mess and have to use some of the others. So probably good to have some backups. So this is going to be something that's going to further my journey into learning about bass habits and about the bass's forage, is to learn more by targeting and catching some of the bass's forage. So always be a student. Now I will say I've got some of the smaller ones of these, and I ain't caught the first thing, and I've also not seen a lot of videos where people are actually catching bass on these. But I decided to go pick up some 6.5. So these are, thread fin. So, I've been playing with a lot of different rigs. We're going to try it out. But this is the Panorama. I know they stay bought out, but I'll be honest with you, I've got some of the 3-inch, and man, I've rigged them up 100 different ways, and I ain't caught the first thing on them. So go big or go home. Now, you seen at the show, I bought one of the Berkeley. So 2 things when it comes to glide baits I like is some sort of natural gizzard, and the other thing I like is some sort of bone color. So I decided to go ahead and pick this up. It's, white, pretty close to a bone color, but another 9-inch. Sometimes it's one or the other, a lot of times. So yeah, got 20% off, so why not? Now, a good little swim bait that all of you have used and I have not jumped on the bandwagon with yet, and this is a good little color. I picked up a couple of them, and that is the Mega Bass Spark Shad. So picked up the 4-inch right here. This is a great color, kind of that milky smoke or whatever you want to call it. Good looking little color right there. I think we're going to be able to put it to use. But we also picked up some nice 3-inch finessers, which I think are going to be great. Now this color, this is Hyo. This is real. Now they had some others there. This is the Hasdong, which I've also seen several of these, but I don't think I actually own any, so I'll pick some up. Some of the clear color, this is Ghost Shad. This will be another great color this spring or this summer when it clears up. Now, last but not least, in that video that we were talking about cranking bluffs, I lost the 2 colors that I was catching on the Spro 55 rock crawler. So that was this color right here, and this is Spring Crawl. And the reason why I like it, it's got a little bit of orange, a little bit of chartreuse, green back on it, and when it would come down through and it'd break free, those bass were actually coming up from deeper just below and hitting it. We lost a big one because he'd come up and swiped at it, and it's literally on the top of his head. So good little rock crawler right there. But we picked up 2 of those. All right, geeks, so the Deep Creek Lures giveaway, again, we want to shout them out and we want to say thanks. Everything, there will be links in the description to every ounce of this stuff. We're going to give this away, and we're just going to do a hashtag Deep Creek. How's that? So just put hashtag Deep Creek in the comment section below. We'll give away 3 packs of, just some different baits, so you can try out some of Deep Creek lures. That's awesome. We appreciate you guys for giving that out so that we can let the geeks out in the world give you Deep Creekers a try. Like I said, they make a lot of good stuff. So like I always say, get out there and look at your expos. There's so much good stuff, and there's so many good deals. There's custom paint jobs, there's innovative lures, there's really some great stuff and great prices and great deals on other stuff. And check out Green Top, guys. I was really impressed by that sort of full-on outdoors store. If you got one near you, or I don't know, maybe that's the only one up there around Richmond, go check them out. We'll put a link in the description for Green Top. I was really impressed. That was a cool store, and it was packed. All right, so if you want to see how to crank a bluff wall, go check this video right here out. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. We love to talk fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Ring that bell so you get the notifications when these videos come out. Geeks, being part of the 100% Watch Squad means everything to us. But overall, we appreciate your time, and you geeks rock.